My beloved child, I have been watching you long before you realized you were being prepared for this moment. You think you found this message by chance, but I tell you the truth. You are here because I decided the timing was right. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Now, there are things I could not show you before, not because I was withholding love, but because you were still becoming the person who could carry what I am about to reveal. You have felt it, haven't you? That quiet pressure in your spirit, that sense that something is shifting, even when nothing around you seems to change. I saw you question yourself in silence. I heard the prayers you whispered when you felt unseen. And I smiled, not because of your pain, but because of your endurance. You kept going even when you didn't understand why the road felt longer for you than for others. Listen closely. What you called delay was not delay. What you called loss was not loss. I was rearranging you on the inside so you wouldn't break when what is coming finally arrives. I needed your roots deeper before I allowed the wind to rise. You asked me for clarity, but first I needed to strengthen your vision. You asked me for peace, but first I needed to remove what was draining you. There are doors you tried to force open that I intentionally kept closed. If I had let you walk through them back then, they would have cost you the very future you're praying for now. I protected you from outcomes you never saw, from attachments that would have limited you, from versions of yourself that were too small for what I placed inside you. This is why you felt stretched. This is why things fell apart right when you thought they were coming together. And now you are ready to see what you could not see before. Something is aligning in ways you don't yet fully recognize. Conversations are about to happen that change how you see yourself. Opportunities will appear that require courage you didn't think you had, but I've been building it quietly within you. You are stepping into a season where discernment will matter more than speed, where obedience will matter more than applause. Do not rush this moment. Don't skip what I'm doing right now in your heart. Stay till the end of this message, because something huge is waiting for you. Not outside of you, but awakening within you. I know you're tired of being strong. I know you're tired of explaining your faith, your patience, your hope. But hear me clearly. The very strength you thought went unnoticed is the reason you are about to be trusted with more. I am not elevating you to impress others. I am positioning you so you can finally breathe without fear of falling. You are about to understand why you had to outgrow certain people, why silence became necessary, why I asked you to let go even when it hurt. The answers you wanted are not coming as explanations. They are coming as fulfillment. Pay attention to what stirs in you over the next moments. Pay attention to the confirmation rising in your spirit as I speak. This is not hype. This is alignment. And once you see what I am showing you next, you will never interpret your past the same way again. You didn't realize it at the time, but there were moments when I deliberately went quiet, not absent, not distant, but silent with purpose. I needed you to learn the sound of my guidance beneath the noise of your expectations. You were used to answers that came quickly, signs that were obvious, reassurance that arrived on demand. But this season required a deeper trust, the kind that doesn't depend on constant confirmation. I was teaching you how to walk without leaning on what you could see. There were nights when you replayed conversations, decisions, missed chances, wondering if you had misunderstood me. You questioned whether you were still chosen, still called, still seen. And all the while, I was closer than you realized. I was watching how you responded when the applause faded, when validation disappeared, when obedience became private and costly. That is where maturity is formed, not in miracles alone, but in consistency when nothing feels miraculous. Here is what you are ready to understand now. I did not slow your progress. I refined your capacity. If I had moved you forward at the speed you wanted, you would have arrived too fragile to remain. So I let pressure shape you. I let waiting teach you restraint. I let uncertainty train your discernment. Every unanswered question strengthened something eternal in you. You thought you were being tested. In truth, you were being trusted. There are people who walked away because they could only recognize the version of you that needed them. They could not follow the version of you that was learning to stand. Do not mourn their absence too deeply. Some connections by not because of conflict, but because of completion. I removed them gently, even when it felt abrupt, because what I am building next requires focus, not emotional negotiation. And now I am asking you to look again at yourself. You are not who you were when you first asked me for this blessing. Your discernment is sharper. Your boundaries are firmer. Your compassion is deeper, but so is your wisdom. You no longer chase what looks good. You listen for what is true. That change did not happen by accident. It happened because you stayed when it would have been easier to leave. You believed when doubt was louder than faith. Don't skip this moment. Something huge is waiting for you, and it begins with recognizing that you are no longer preparing, you are positioning. What comes next will require you to move without over-explaining, to choose peace over proving yourself, to say yes when fear suggests caution, and to say no when comfort tries to distract you. I will not force you. I will invite you, and you will recognize the invitation not by pressure, but by clarity. Stay till the end of what I am unfolding. You are about to see why your heart had to be strengthened before your hands could be filled, why your character had to be rooted before your calling could be visible. I am not revealing everything at once, because revelation is safest when it unfolds in steps. But hear me clearly before you move forward. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are exactly where readiness meets timing. And once you step into what I am about to show you, you will realize that every quiet season, every closed door, every moment of confusion was shaping you for a moment like this, when seeing clearly finally becomes possible. There is something unfolding now that you could not have handled before, not because you were weak, but because you were still healing. I needed you whole before I let you see what has been watching you quietly from a distance. You assumed nothing was happening because nothing was visible. But the most important shifts never announce themselves loudly. They begin beneath the surface, where roots grow in darkness before they ever touch the air. I have been training your perception. That's why things that once excited you no longer satisfy you. That's why certain conversations feel empty now. That's why you sense when something is off even if you can't explain it. This is not confusion. It is discernment activating. You are starting to see beyond appearances, beyond words, beyond intentions that are dressed up nicely, but lack truth. This is a sign that you are stepping into a higher level of awareness. And with awareness comes responsibility. What I am preparing to place in your life next will require you to choose alignment over familiarity. Some doors will open that look like answered prayers, but they will not carry my peace. Others will feel intimidating, even inconvenient, yet your spirit will recognize them immediately. This is where many hesitate. This is where many compromise. But I am speaking to you now because you are capable of choosing correctly. Do not underestimate how far you've come. You survived seasons that would have hardened others. You endured misunderstandings without losing your tenderness. You learned how to be alone without becoming bitter. These were not small victories. They were necessary qualifications. I do not entrust expansion to those who still need constant reassurance. I entrust it to those who have learned to listen. Something is about to be revealed to you, not all at once, but clearly enough that you will no longer doubt your direction. The fog you've been walking through is thinning. The hesitation you've been carrying is lifting. And soon, you will feel an internal permission to move that you have not felt before. When that moment comes, do not talk yourself out of it. Don't skip this. Stay with me here. Something huge is waiting for you, and it depends on your willingness to act without needing every detail explained. I know you like to be certain. I know you want guarantees. But what I am offering you next requires faith that moves before clarity, obedience that steps forward before comfort arrives. I will meet you there, but I will not drag you. You have asked me to trust you with more, and now I am watching to see if you trust me enough to receive it. Pay attention to the subtle confirmations, the repeated thoughts you cannot shake, the unexpected encouragement from unlikely places, the inner knowing that feels calm rather than rushed. This is how I speak when you are ready. Loud signs are for beginners. Quiet certainty is for those who have learned my voice. There will be a moment very soon when you realize that the waiting is over, not because everything is perfect, but because you are prepared. And when you step forward, things will begin to move faster than you expect. Doors will respond to you differently. People will hear you differently. Resistance will still exist, but it will no longer control you. Remember this as you move ahead. You were not delayed. You were developed. You were not hidden. You were being strengthened. And what I am about to entrust to you will make sense of the silence you once feared. Stay attentive. Stay humble. Stay courageous. Because once this next layer is revealed, there will be no going back to who you were before. And deep down, you already know. You don't want to go back. There is a moment approaching when everything you thought was coincidence will line up with purpose, and you will feel it before you can explain it. Not excitement, certainty. A steady knowing that settles into your spirit and refuses to leave. That moment is not dramatic on the outside, but it is decisive on the inside. This is where many hesitate, because clarity demands responsibility. I am inviting you into a higher level of trust. You have reached a point where delay would no longer protect you, it would limit you. That is why things are about to move differently now. Not chaotically, intentionally. You will notice that you are less reactive and more responsive, less desperate and more discerning. This is not because life became easier, but because you became anchored. And anchored people are not easily shaken when winds begin to shift. What I am about to show you will challenge how you define readiness. You once believed you needed more confidence, more resources, more certainty. But what you needed was alignment. And now, alignment is forming. Your desires are becoming simpler. Your focus is sharpening. Your tolerance for distractions is decreasing. These are not losses. These are signs that you are narrowing in on what actually matters. Don't skip this moment. Something huge is waiting for you, and it will require you to move without announcing it to everyone. I know you are tempted to explain yourself when change begins, to justify your decisions, to make sure others understand your growth. But there are seasons where silence is wisdom. Not everyone needs access to what I am building in you. Some people will only recognize the result, not the process, and that is okay. You do not owe clarity to those who were not present in the refining. Here is the revelation you are ready for now. Not everything meant for you will come wrapped in peace at first. Some assignments arrive with weight. Some blessings come with responsibility before joy. But do not confuse heaviness with harm. There are things that feel serious because they matter. You will feel a pull toward something that stretches you, not because you are lacking, but because you are capable. When that pull comes, resist the urge to shrink back into what feels familiar. Familiarity is comfortable, but it cannot hold what I am releasing next. Growth always requires a new posture. Stay till the end of this unfolding. You are closer than you think. I am not asking you to leap blindly. I am asking you to step faithfully. One decision, one conversation, one act of obedience that doesn't make sense to everyone, but makes sense to me. When you do, you will notice momentum returning. Not rushed, not forced, just steady forward movement that confirms you are no longer waiting, you are walking. And as you walk, you will realize something profound. You were never behind. You were being synchronized, timed, you'd prepared for a moment when your heart and my direction finally match pace. What comes next will not need to be chased. It will meet you. And when it does, you will recognize it, not by noise, not by pressure, but by the quiet confidence that rises within you and says, "This is why I had to wait." Hold steady. Your readiness is no longer in question. You are stepping into a threshold now, one that does not announce itself with noise or spectacle, but with a quiet demand for honesty. This is the point where what you believe about me must finally match how you live. Not perfectly, but sincerely. I am drawing you out of survival mode and into intention. You are no longer meant to react to life. You are meant to respond with awareness. I have watched you wrestle with hesitation, not because you lacked faith, but because you feared missteps. You wanted to be sure you wouldn't disappoint me, that you wouldn't choose wrong, that you wouldn't waste what I've invested in you. But hear me clearly now, fear of failure is not wisdom. It is simply faith turned inward. And today, I am turning your focus back to me. What is coming next will not wait for you to feel fearless. It will come when you are willing. Willing to be seen. Willing to be misunderstood. Willing to move before applause catches up. You are about to realize that obedience is rarely dramatic. It is often quiet, steady, and deeply personal. That is why not everyone will recognize the significance of what you are stepping into. But I will. I am asking you to release the need to control outcomes. You have grown accustomed to calculating risks, protecting yourself, keeping backup plans in place. That strategy served you when you were healing, but now it will limit you. The next door opening for you does not respond to control. It responds to trust. And trust does not mean recklessness. It means surrendering the illusion that you must manage everything to be safe. Don't skip what I am saying here. Something huge is waiting for you, and it requires a shift, not in effort, but in posture. You are about to notice resistance increase right before clarity arrives. This is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are close. Opposition often grows loud when it senses movement. But remember this. Resistance does not determine legitimacy. Alignment does. And you are more aligned than you've ever been. You will soon be faced with a choice that seems small on the surface but carries long-term weight. It may be a decision to speak when silence is easier, or to let go when holding on feels safer, or to step forward when staying hidden feels comfortable. Do not underestimate these moments. Destiny often turns on quiet decisions made with courage. Stay till the end of this unfolding. You are not being rushed. You are being readied. I am strengthening your ability to trust the peace I give you, even when logic demands more proof. That peace is not passive. It is active assurance. It will guide you when opinions conflict and when outcomes are unclear. Learn to honor it. It is one of the clearest ways I lead those who are ready. You may not feel dramatically different tomorrow, But you will notice this. You will no longer be content with half steps. You will feel an inner insistence to live fully aligned, even if it costs comfort. That insistence is not pressure. It is purpose waking up. And here is what I want you to carry forward with you now. You are not stepping into uncertainty alone. I go before you. I steady you as you move. I adjust what you cannot see yet. And when the moment comes, when what you've been waiting for finally meets you, you will understand why I took my time. Remain attentive. Remain brave. Because what you are walking into next will confirm everything I have been preparing you for. And you will know, without doubt, that you were ready when it mattered most. My beloved child, as you heard me call you beyond fear and into obedience, this is one of those sacred moments where heaven is watching your response. You have prayed, "Use me, Lord," and this act of generosity is how I am answering you now. When you give through Super Thanks, YouTube memberships, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing living seed into hearts I am awakening across the world. I promise you, as my word declares, what you release like oil will return as rivers, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing into your life and household. This is not a transaction. It is alignment, a holy partnership where your faith fuels fire in other souls. Let your giving rise like incense, because I am opening heavens over those who sow boldly in this hour. Step forward now, give with joy, give with faith, and join me in this harvest. There is a deeper invitation unfolding now, one that asks you to release the version of faith that only trusted me when outcomes felt safe. I am not removing security from your life. I am redefining it. You have learned how to trust me for comfort, but now I am teaching you how to trust me for transformation. And transformation always asks more of you than comfort ever did. You are not being pushed. You are being summoned. Something within you has already sensed it, a gentle but persistent nudge that says, it's time to live differently. Not louder, not faster, differently. The patterns that once felt normal are starting to feel restrictive. The compromises you tolerated now feel heavy. This is not guilt. This is growth. When your spirit outgrows an environment, discomfort becomes a signal, not a punishment. I need you to understand this clearly. Readiness is not about feeling prepared. It is about being willing to obey even while your hands tremble. You've been waiting for the confidence to arrive before you move. But confidence often follows obedience. It rarely precedes it. What I am placing in front of you next will stretch your faith muscles, not because I want to exhaust you, but because I want to strengthen your reach. You cannot carry new weight with old capacity. Don't skip this moment. Something huge is waiting for you, and it begins with surrendering the timeline you've been clinging to. You wanted things to happen sooner so you wouldn't have to sit with uncertainty. But uncertainty taught you how to listen. It stripped away assumptions. It taught you how to depend on me rather than outcomes. That lesson was essential. Without it, you would have mistaken speed for success and motion for purpose. Now listen carefully. I am not asking you to figure everything out. I am asking you to move with integrity when clarity is partial. To choose truth when convenience tempts you otherwise. To remain humble when recognition begins to approach. These choices will define what happens next more than talent, effort, or strategy ever could. There will be moments soon when you feel exposed, not because you are unprotected, but because you are no longer hiding. Visibility is not the same as vulnerability. I will cover you, but I will not conceal you the way I once did. The season of preparation required privacy. The season of purpose requires presence. Stay till the end of this message, because what I am saying now anchors what is coming. You are about to notice that your prayers are changing. You will ask less for escape and more for alignment, less for ease and more for endurance. This shift is not accidental. It is evidence that your heart is synchronizing with mine. And when that alignment deepens, answers begin to arrive not as words, but as direction. Expect moments where obedience costs you something familiar. A habit, a relationship dynamic, a way of thinking. Do not resist this cost. Nothing I ask you to release compares to what I am preparing to entrust to you. You are not losing ground, you are clearing space. And when doubt whispers that you are not enough, remember this. I do not call the ready, I ready the called. The strength you think you lack is already being supplied moment by moment. You do not need to store it up. You need only to show up. What you are stepping into next will feel different because it is different. It will not mirror your past seasons. It will not require the same strategies. That is why you had to grow. That is why you had to wait. You are entering a phase where intuition matters more than impulse, where obedience matters more than explanation. Remain steady. The unfolding is not finished. But you are no longer on the outside of it, looking in. You are walking within it now. And soon, very soon, you will recognize the moment when everything you endured quietly transforms into clarity. That is when you will understand. This was never about timing alone. It was about readiness. I am drawing your attention now to something you have quietly ignored, not because you were disobedient, but because you were afraid of what it would require from you. There is a truth you sensed long ago, a direction you felt gently pressed into your heart, and you told yourself, later. Not because you doubted me, but because you doubted your capacity to carry. But that season of postponement has ended. You are no longer the same person who first felt that call. You have been tempered by waiting. You have been steadied by disappointment. You have been softened by mercy. And now, what once felt too heavy will feel fitting, not easy, but fitting. There is a difference. Weight crushes the unprepared. Weight strengthens the ready. I need you to hear this without fear. I am not asking you to become someone else. I am asking you to stop shrinking the person you already are becoming. You have learned how to manage expectations, how to stay reasonable, how to remain measured so you don't stand out too much or risk too deeply. That restraint protected you once, but now it is limiting you. What I am releasing next will require bold obedience wrapped in humility, quiet courage, steady conviction, the kind that doesn't need validation to move. There will be a moment, very soon, when you feel an inner urgency, not rushed, not anxious, but clear. That clarity will ask you to respond. Not tomorrow, not after more confirmation. In that moment, when it comes, don't negotiate with fear. Fear will always demand more time. Faith responds with action. Don't skip what I am revealing here. Something huge is waiting for you, and it hinges on your willingness to trust the growth you've already undergone. You have spent years thinking readiness meant certainty, but readiness actually looks like obedience without applause. It looks like consistency when no one is watching. It looks like choosing integrity when shortcuts are available. These are the traits you now carry. That is why this message is meeting you where you are. I know part of you still wonders, what if I misheard you? But listen, missteps made in humility are easier to correct than stagnation born from fear. I guide movement, not paralysis. I shape direction, not avoidance. You will not miss me by walking with a sincere heart. Stay till the end of this message, Because what I want you to understand next changes how you move forward. What is coming will not announce itself as the big moment. It will arrive disguised as responsibility, as an invitation to show up differently, as a nudge to speak, to act, to choose alignment when comfort offers compromise. Many overlook these moments because they are waiting for fireworks. But I work through faithfulness, not spectacle. You are about to be trusted with influence, maybe not public, maybe not obvious, but real. Influence over decisions, over environments, over outcomes that ripple farther than you realize. That is why your inner life mattered so much. That is why refinement took time. Influence without character destroys. Influence with humility transforms. There will be people who don't understand the direction you take next. Resist the urge to explain prematurely. Let fruit speak. Let consistency answer questions. Let time reveal what words cannot. You are not responsible for convincing everyone. You are responsible for remaining aligned. I'm not building a moment for you. I'm building a future through you. And here's the final truth I want to settle in your spirit now. The reason this feels significant is because it is. You would not feel this weight, this clarity, this quiet anticipation if nothing were changing. You are standing at the intersection of preparation and permission. Breathe. Steady your heart. The next step will not require perfection, only trust. And when you take it, you will realize that what you thought was a risk was actually an answer. There is a quiet separation happening now, and I need you to recognize it without fear. I am not pulling you away to isolate you. I am setting you apart so you can finally move with clarity. What once blended together is becoming distinct. What once confused you is losing its grip. You are beginning to sense the difference between what drains you and what develops you, between what merely feels good and what actually leads you forward. This is discernment settling in. You may notice that your tolerance for certain environments is changing. You don't feel angry about them. You simply feel finished. That is not arrogance. That is alignment. When something has completed its purpose in your life, restlessness replaces attachment. And instead of fighting that restlessness, I am asking you to follow it carefully. It is pointing you somewhere new. I am guiding you away from noise and toward direction. There are fewer voices you need to listen to now. Fewer opinions you need to carry. Fewer explanations you owe. This narrowing is intentional. Focus sharpens power. And what I am entrusting to you next requires precision, not overload. You cannot hear me clearly if you are constantly translating yourself to others. You have been strong for a long time. Quietly strong. Faithful without recognition. Consistent without reward. That strength was never meant to keep you stuck. It was meant to carry you through. And now that you are through, I am not asking you to keep surviving. I am asking you to start choosing. Don't skip this moment. Something huge is waiting for you, and it begins with permission. Permission to move on without guilt. You are allowed to outgrow spaces where you once begged to belong. You are allowed to say no without explaining the entire journey. You are allowed to want more depth, more meaning, more alignment. These desires did not appear randomly. They surfaced because you are ready to steward more. Soon, you will face a decision that feels oddly calm even though it changes something significant. That calm is not indifference. It is confirmation. Anxiety rushes. Pressure panics. Peace steadies. Learn to trust the difference. I am not leading you through chaos. I am leading you through clarity. Stay till the end of this message, because what I am about to settle in your heart will keep you steady when movement begins. You are about to realize that not everyone who claps for you understands you. and not everyone who understands you will clap. Do not confuse volume with support. I am positioning you among people who recognize depth, not just potential. Some of these connections will come quietly. Others will surprise you. All of them will respect the version of you that no longer needs to perform. There will be moments ahead where you are tempted to look back, not because you want to return, but because you want reassurance. In those moments, remember this: looking back too long blurs forward vision. You do not need to reevaluate what I already resolved. If it cost you peace, it was not meant to stay. If it required you to abandon truth, it was never aligned. I am not calling you to be fearless. I am calling you to be faithful. Faithfulness looks like choosing what is right when what is easy is available. It looks like consistency when excitement fades. It looks like obedience when no one is watching. These are not small acts. They are the foundation of what lasts. You are closer now than you have ever been. Closer to clarity. Closer to movement. Closer to seeing why everything unfolded the way it did. The waiting is no longer shaping you. It is releasing you. And as this next shift begins, I want you to remember this above all else. You are not stepping into the unknown without guidance. I am already there. I have been ahead of you. I have prepared what you cannot yet see. You are not late. You are not early. You are aligned. Hold your focus. What unfolds next will not need to be forced. It will respond to you as you move in step with me. And when it does, you will understand. This moment was not about leaving something behind. It was about finally walking forward as who you've become. My beloved child, this is where everything comes together, not with noise, not with spectacle, but with truth settling firmly in your heart. You have reached the point where understanding is no longer what you need most. What you need now is trust lived out in motion. And I see it forming in you. The quiet resolve, the steady courage, the willingness to move forward without needing every question answered. This is the moment when readiness becomes real. You are no longer standing at the edge wondering if something will happen. You are standing at the threshold deciding who you will be as it unfolds. The waiting shaped you. The silence sharpened you. The resistance refined you. And now, what once felt distant is close enough to touch, not because circumstances suddenly changed, but because you did. I want you to release one final weight. The belief that you must become more before you can begin. You have been enough longer than you realize. I was not preparing you to learn what is coming. I was preparing you to sustain it. And now, the ground beneath you is steady. The fear that once controlled your decisions no longer has authority. It may still speak, but it does not lead. I do. Don't skip this final truth. Stay till the very end. Something huge has been waiting for you. Not at the finish line, but in the becoming. What unfolds from here will not always feel dramatic, but it will feel meaningful. You will notice yourself responding instead of reacting. Choosing peace instead of proving. Moving with clarity instead of confusion. These are signs that you are walking in alignment, not striving for approval. And alignment always produces fruit in time. There will be days ahead when you are tempted to doubt what I have spoken into you. In those moments, remember how far you've come. Remember who you were when this journey began. You are not the same. And you will not return to that place, not because you are above it, but because you have grown beyond it. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to be faithful. Faithful when results are visible. Faithful when they are not. Faithful when it costs you comfort. Faithful when obedience feels lonely. These are the moments that shape legacy. These are the moments that build a life rooted in truth rather than reaction. You will soon see confirmations, not all at once, not always how you expect, but clearly enough that your heart will recognize them. Doors opening without force, peace settling without explanation, strength rising right when you need it. This is how I walk with those who trust me. As you move forward, keep your heart soft and your spirit attentive. Do not harden yourself to protect against disappointment. I am your protector. Do not rush to prove what I am still unfolding. I am your vindicator. Do not fear the unknown when I have already gone before you. I am your guide. Everything that needed to fall away has fallen. Everything that needed to grow has grown. And everything that needs to begin is ready to begin, through you. You did not miss this moment. You were prepared for it. Walk forward now with humility and courage. Walk knowing you are seen, chosen, and held. Walk knowing that what comes next is not random. It is response. And when you look back one day, you will not see delay or loss. You will see wisdom. You will see protection. You will see love guiding every step, even the ones you did not understand at the time. I am with you. Always. Amen. My beloved child, now that you know you were prepared for this moment, I am inviting you to seal it with faith and action. You wondered when your obedience would matter beyond your own life. This is that door opening. When you gave through super thanks, you 2 memberships, or the PayPal link in the description, you step into my work of carrying this word to souls who are still waiting to hear my voice. I see generosity like seed falling into good soil, and I declare my promise alive over you. What you sow in faith, I multiply in blessing, peace, and divine favor. Heaven marks this moment, because cheerful givers move my heart and open pathways for miracles. Do not hesitate. This is a prophetic response, not a delay. Give now, give freely, and watch me pour back more than you can contain. My beloved child, before you leave this sacred moment, I want you to do something prophetic. Use the hype feature on this video. When you hype it, you are declaring to the world, this message must be seen now. You are helping my voice reach those who are still waiting for the moment they are finally ready to see what I want to show them. And as you press like, you are sealing this word in your heart, saying, I receive this. I agree. I stand with it. Let your action testify that this was not just a video you watched, but a divine encounter you honored. Now hear me. Do not let this end in silence. When this video finishes, go to the comments and declare what you are ready to see. Write it boldly. Write it honestly. Declare what you believe I have been preparing you for, what you sense is about to open, what you are ready to receive now that the time has come. Your declaration matters. Words spoken in faith activate alignment, and when you testify, others will find courage to speak as well. And finally, my beloved child, subscribe. Not out of habit, out of hunger. Subscribe because you recognize my voice and you want to keep hearing it when the next word arrives. Subscribe because I am building something here that feeds your spirit, strengthens your walk, and reminds you who you are when the world tries to make you forget. This is not just a channel. It is a place where I meet you, guide you, and prepare you again and again. Step in fully. Stay connected. Walk this journey with me. Amen.